What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Bloodborne because it has finally been given an actual direct response as to why we haven't seen a Bloodborne remaster for PlayStation 5 or PC, and the answer is actually kind of mysterious, but let's break it down because literally the guy who invented Bloodborne, Hidetaka Miyazaki, is the person that's now talking about it, so I'm out of my mind. Let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I came directly from the gym, which is why I look so sweaty and I'm slightly out of breath, so I apologize. But honestly, I couldn't help but want to talk about this. So, Hidetaka Miyazaki was doing a interview with a PC gamer where they were kind of just asking about all sorts of topics, all sorts of different stuff, because of course we're about to get the Elden Ring DLC, and everybody's excited about that. Elden Ring is absolutely so big that everybody, I've personally bought like 5 copies of it. Look, everybody loves Elden Ring, but one of the things they said is, hey, how do you feel about a Bloodborne PC port? And he said, if I say I want one, I'll get in trouble, but it's nothing I'm opposed to. Now, we're going to break this down bit by bit because already everybody is like, okay, what does that mean? He said, it's not my place to talk about Bloodborne specifically. He said this a few months ago. Something strange is afoot with Bloodborne and Sony. Now, this is my buddy Night Sky Prince. He's another very good YouTuber. And he said, if I say one word, they'll hurt me. It has that kind of energy. So there have been a lot of rumors that perhaps Bluepoint or somebody could actually be working on doing a Bloodborne remake. But people also think that something else could be sort of going on in the background because Bloodborne is the last Sony exclusive. Of course, they had Demon's Souls back in the day, but it feels like there's always been this slightly strained relationship between PlayStation and the greatness that is Dark Souls. So, this Bloodborne was basically Sony apologizing that they messed up and did not understand Demon's Souls. And then in 2019, Elden Ring debuted at the Xbox E3 showcase. Not saying there's a story, but that's what happened. So yeah, Demon's Souls back in the day, they essentially dropped the first Dark Souls before the world was fully ready for it. Now, I've told the story as a past. I am a complete fanatic for Dark Souls, for Bloodborne, for Elden Ring. I've got like thousands of hours collectively. But the first time I saw Demon's Souls, this is 100% true, I didn't get it. I thought it looked incredibly stupid. I had a friend who had imported it, and he sat me down and he played it in front of me, and it looked so slow, so difficult. I thought it absolutely looked so stupid, and apparently the people at Sony thought the same thing. A bunch of people way up at PlayStation were like, no way, Demon's Souls is definitely going to be a huge financial failure. Just push it out and move on, and it ended up becoming the greatness. But here's the other part of it that, let me read this full statement here because there's still so much. Obviously, as one of the creators of Bloodborne, my personal, pure, honest opinion is I'd love for more players to be able to enjoy it, especially as a game that is now coming of age. One of those games of the past that gets a lot of, especially as the game is now coming of age, one of those games of the past that gets lost on older hardware. I think any game like that, it'd be nice to have an opportunity for more players to be able to experience that and relive this relic of the past. Because yeah, it is wild to think about that this came out so many years ago. As far as I'm concerned, that's definitely not something I would be opposed to. Now, there was actually some leaked sales numbers that Bloodborne managed to move almost 8 million copies. If you sell 8 million copies of any game, you would expect it to get the sequel treatment and lots of crazy expansions or spin-offs. But we only ever got the singular version of Bloodborne. We had that, and we had the Old Hunters DLC, but that was it. And it seems bizarre because when you actually consider it, clearly, Sony thinks that Bloodborne is cool. Like, Astrobot is about to come out, the new Astrobot game, and they reference Bloodborne multiple times in it. They're always releasing, Bloodborne art books and Bloodborne, weird tie-in merchandise and stuff. So it's not like PlayStation in their current state hates it, it just feels like for whatever reason, people are beginning to believe that this remake, this remaster, this something probably is real, but maybe it's not being done by them. Like, the weirdness of it is that technically Bloodborne is not owned by FromSoftware, even though they invented it, coded it, designed every part of it, did all the great music, did all the great combat. It is fully and legally owned by PlayStation, which means that because they want more people to play it, it really doesn't come down to them. It is still a thing where, unfortunately, PlayStation has to fund it and make it once again, or relinquish the license, which of course they're not going to do. Now, I think they're definitely, like, maybe this is cope. I definitely think there is a Bloodborne PC port or a remaster in development. There has to be. And the reason I think that is because of this. This was released just a couple hours ago. Elden Ring has now sold 25 million copies. Now, the reason I think this is just such a big deal is I think it signals the fact that a lot of people are fresh Dark Souls fans. Like, even if they don't realize it, if you have only played Elden Ring, the earlier games, honestly, you can go back and play Elden Ring, you can go straight to Dark Souls 3, you can go straight to Dark Souls 1, you can completely skip Dark Souls 2. I'm kidding. I know there's a lot of Dark Souls 2 defenders, but my point is the fact that this has created a new, hungry fan base of people that definitely just want more FromSoftware goodness. And now is the perfect time to do that. If they actually revealed a Bloodborne, even a port, even if they managed to just take the game and put it on PC at 60 FPS, it would be a massive success. Beyond just the mods and stuff, it just feels like so many people love Bloodborne for exactly what it is. It's like a dark, twisted, very Europe-based twisted version of Dark Souls. And it's so freaking good. The idea of taking that back, even if it is the exact same game, but 60 FPS, I'd buy it right now. I don't need tons of like extra bosses, although that would be nice, or new mechanics and crazy new weapons. All of that stuff would be cool added perks, but I'm definitely just one of those people that loves Bloodborne so much, I would be thrilled just to see it come back. Now, I guess the real question here, though, is that what involvement will Miyazaki even have? I guess that's the curious part of this, is that I still think that it is possible that they may allow Miyazaki to do a full-blown remake or a sequel at some point for the PlayStation 5. I think it seems like right now they're trying to finish off the Elden Ring DLC. They're trying to do more stuff. I mean, clearly FromSoftware is incredibly busy, like they always are, but I think it's curious to think, could they actually get the green light to go back? All the replies are so freaking excited. Man, Sony is treating Bloodborne like a hostage at this point. Give it to us. We don't talk about Bloodborne. Yep. God. Even if they just put it on PS5 with a 60 FPS patch, honestly, I'd still replay it regardless every single year. Yep. Them's the breaks. But how do you guys feel about Bloodborne? Are you as excited by the concept as I am? I guess it still just makes me happy that the conversation is on the table. It just feels like the fervor, the excitement, the hype for this game will truly never die because it is just that unique. But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. By the way, like 6 months ago, I mentioned there's a machine at the gym that every time I use it, it cuts my shoulder. Look at this. I used it again. I got to stop using it every single time. I like it. There's this machine. It's a hack squat machine. The hack squat machine keeps cutting me, if you know what a hack squat is. Bloodborne, baby. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.